Okay, we are live. It is 8:02 p.m. Eastern, 5:02 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. Almost said Wednesday, but Sunday, the 28th of February. Need new glasses, or we'll increase the size of the font. The guest has the playback going in the background. That's okay. He caught it. He's a professional, even. I'm telling you. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Did I say welcome to the Sunday Night Hang, folks? Good. Been wanting to have this guy on for a while. I see him around in the chats. He pops up once in a while on a live stream. You folks, you all know him from the chats because why not? That's a key.
And why not?
And, he's a liar. He's a liar. The name says Grumpy, but he's anything but. He's Grumpy Mike Guitar. Welcome, buddy.
Howdy, folks. Good to be here.
Nice.
So yeah, you'd be surprised. I can be grumpy.
Well, that's all about balance in life, right? You can't have good without bad because you don't know what good is if you don't have bad, and vice versa. Wow, we already got a crowd in here. Let's see.
How many are you showing?
Yeah, and since China Mike, he mentioned it on today's show how I introduced him to do this, and this because I stumbled on it because the chat skipping ahead all the time. I just let it go live the whole time. I start the bottom, so we've got Scott Brockway, Graham Campbell, Mickey Settlemeyer, Janice Lala, Eric C, Dan of New Jersey, Vins RJ or Vines, Vins. Let's go with Vins. Nick's KB Music. He can correct me. Thomas Santiago, he hails from upstate New York. Oh, I lost all sense of rhythm. Well, we have performance-enhancing beverages to fix that. We got BC Rich 581. We have them all talked. There's unbelievable, excellent. We got JP Page 2. We've got Down and Back with Corn Doug. More on him later, maybe. Sure, we'll see. Let's see. Scott, you're right. Yep. 10 Solo Music. Hey, Emery. Good to see you. Check out link down below. Check out 10 Solo Music. Luke's is here. Welcome, Luke's. Good buddy Ted is here. Awesome. Randy Crooks. Ryan X. And that's, Ryan was in here 2 hours ago, so I don't know if he's still in here, but he wanted to be right down front. Grizzly Adams, Jeff K, Bent, Tom, the original Paramutant, Rick Hefner, Sam Black.
No, I think we're at the bottom there, right?
Yeah. We just boom. Right. We just loop her right around. All right, Sam's in England. Awesome. Mark Sue's Images is here. Doug says, "Do you know something I don't know about me that I don't know?" There's a lot I could say about that. Eddie Van Haskell coming in on point as usual. Nothing wrong with that. Nice. So welcome everybody. Sunday Night Hang. Month end wrap up because we just happened to hit on the last day of the month. This month flew by. Hey, James. Hello. Welcome. New name in the chat, I do believe. Although the memory isn't always the best. Tom went Dutch for 4 hours today. So for those who don't know, Tom is one of the early recipients of the new re-released, redefined, re-engineered even somewhat, not with the circuitry, layout, and ease of use. Tom has one of the new LPD Pedals Dutch, which is the progression of the Lost Dutchman. Jason sucks at guitar. Well, probably not. If you think you suck at guitar, that means you're actually pretty decent. Because, exactly, I've been doing it for 30 some odd years, and one of these years I'm going to get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Dale Palmer, Robert Metzenberg.
Dale Palmer, yes. Keith H. Keith H subscribes to my channel.
Nice. Speaking of which, yes, if you haven't already, definitely check out Grumpy Mike Guitar. He's sitting at 765 subs. I want to see him at 800 before we go off air. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying, look, you folks get me to 1,000 and I'm giving a guitar away. So, I mean, you've seen the Harley Bentons. I'm giving one of them away, but I got to get that 1,000th sub. So come on, step up, do your part.
Scott Brockway says he's going to buy a metronome tomorrow that looks like a bong. Then you'll use it all the time.
I was going to make a time joke. Yeah.
Hey, Fruitcake Tony. Good to
Fruitcake
see you,
Tony,
Fruitcake.
yes.
And I want to shout out Fruitcake Tony as well. Last night did a show on the Beatles. You might have heard of them, folks. Loogie Flux. There's a name I haven't seen in a while. You lurker, you. Daniel Horsley, Stephen Douglas. Man, all the cool kids are popping in tonight, Mike.
It's only the cool kids, right?
Oh, jeez.
We're an exclusive club, right?
Doug says, I'm giving away Ben if I get to 1K subs. Yeah, and if Doug could get 2 subs to get him to an even 170. Hey, awesome. 10 Solo Music just subbed to Grumpy Mike.
Bless you.
Nice. I was going to say, maybe one of the moderators. Yeah, we got moderators in the chat. One of them. When don't I have moderators in the chat? Well, okay, you're up 5 already. So if someone hasn't already put the link in there, throw it in there, please. Hey, Milk T. Good to see Milton here. Terry Himes. Scott says he'll take me if I bring my gear. And then Tom says, Doug, how many subs for Ben's Tellies? Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, 5 new ones. All right. Thanks, folks.
Nice. And that's not the only reason Mike's here tonight. It's, because I figure, we were due for a chat. We've been literally talking in the chats for years, I would say, at this point. And this is easier than this, A
lot. A lot. Well, I want to say, Ben, when, I'd been watching the guitar YouTube stuff for a long time, and a lot longer than I started doing the chats. But once I did, you were one of the first people that really kind of reached out and it was kind of welcome into the club, and real nice guy and never forgot that. So you and a lot of people, a lot of really nice folks, but
there's always room for one more. And that's the way I see it. Like when someone says, hey folks, and it's not just, I don't know, like, let's say we're in Phil McKnight's chat and it's just, hi, Phil. It's when you're like, hey, Phil, hey, everybody. And especially, once the show is going and someone dips in where you're not saying hi to somebody every 5 seconds and just spamming the chat, essentially. But, when these people start coming in, they finally take that time. And I'm like, ooh, that's a name I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Why not say hi?
Sure. Welcome folks in, especially when you see somebody new that you've never, and when they say, not been able to get on the chats before, this is my first time. It's always good to reach out to them,
which
make them feel welcome.
We got a couple of Jameses. I think they carpool. James Severin's here, and new name in the chat, James Palva. Hello in Canada. Love it.
And by the way, Tom, thanks for posting that link. I appreciate that. So.
And apparently Scott says I'm cooler than a toilet seat. I'm not as useful, that's for sure, because they're pretty darn useful. Nice. Graham Campbell says, I really appreciated Mike commenting on my first video in a while on my Wii channel. Genuinely made my day. Nice.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, got to be nice. And I also see that's another thing I'm really surprised at. When I first started doing videos, it was like, okay, I'm going to end up getting trolls in the comments, and so everybody's been so nice. I think I've had maybe one attempt at a troll.
Give it time.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny you mentioned that, only because it came up as a Facebook memory yesterday for me. I went, hey, I got my first thumbs down, and I was looking, and I was like, so that's a month and a half. That was a month and a half into my YouTube career. I got my first thumbs down on a video, and I remember getting a text from JJ's House of Jams, and he's just like, "You just wait, brother. You just wait." He's like, "That's nothing." Nice.
I got a comment on one video, and basically the guy was saying, you talk too much. There's too much talking. It's very unprofessional. And I just replied back, is like, well, first off, I never claimed to be a professional. I'm certainly not. But I would invite you to check out one of Henning Pauly's 1.5 hour long videos of him mostly talking. He's a professional.
One of my favorites is, can you please tune the guitar? Mike, you watch my videos. It's like, I really shouldn't play a D chord in a demo. I really shouldn't with that monkey grip of mine. Because, I tune the darn things every time. Or I get, wow, you're so misinformed. You didn't go over anything on it. And that was on the Gretsch Jr. that I did. Single pickup, 2 knobs. And I did go through tone variations. I'm like, what? And it's a 5-minute video. There's only so much I can do.
And I actually bought this one because of that video.
Yeah, so there you go, people that don't like it. Proof, pudding, all that, shenanigans, whatever. And one I saw because, was it Ryan Burke from 60 Cycle Hum? He'll post on Instagram a lot, the trolls. And one, I think it was him. And I haven't used it yet, but I'm waiting for the right one. I was going to put, I got paid to do this video as much as you paid to watch it.
Exactly. Well, I like it, usually when they say, "Oh, Ryan, you play like shit," and he's, yeah, I know. So
I get a kick, or on pedal demos, you play the same 3 chords throughout. Yeah, it's called consistency. So you hear the difference in the pedal. Like, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to do this tone setting, play 3 chords, change the tone setting, and then play lead.
Something completely different. Yeah,
right?
That doesn't make sense. No.
Hey, Eric C's back. We've got a bunch of people. Tito's in here, and Tito, 6-string Brian, Mr. Guitar himself. JP Page 2 says Ben brings a high standard to not being professional. Damn straight.
Yeah, the day I start being professional is the day I give it up.
Troy Alcorn, Johnny R. Kramer. He thinks you look like one of the guys from Seals and Croft. Well, nothing wrong with that. They had some hits.
Years and years ago, I worked at a hospital in Atlanta, Emory University Hospital, and I was sitting in the break one day, and one of the ladies from one of the other departments was sitting there, and she kept looking at me, and finally she said, "You look like one of 2 people, and I can't figure out which." And I'm thinking, okay, like what? And I'm thinking some, rock and roll or whatnot. She says, "Well, you either look like Jesus Christ or Charles Manson."
Well, there we are. Toss of the coin. Hey, Vincent, FU to you too as well. Yes, FU Tone. Part of the, oh yeah, right. Not reversed. Part of the crew. YouTube's fun, always.
So I want people to tell me in the chat, does anyone want to hear where I got the nickname Grumpy?
Type 1 in the chat for yes.
1 for yes, 2 or FU for no.
Yeah. Hobo Roadie. We got 58 people watching. Awesome.
Sure. Got a 1, got a 1, got a yes, got a 1.
Sure,
got a
1, yes.
Got a 1.
You notice one thing in this chat, Mike. Guitar players don't take direction well.
No, we're guitar players. There's a reason for that. I mean, we're a step above bass players, but
we got to show the 10 ways of answering the same question, right?
I just ticked off a bunch of bass players. Sorry about that.
That's okay. They don't know how to type in and get here anyways.
No, come on, bass players. Don't be insulted. Just be glad you're not a drummer. I mean,
exactly. They can't even unlock their phones. They just got to hope it comes up that somebody calls them and they can just swipe to answer.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing about drummers is if you accidentally lock them in the car, and they can't get out. Okay. So the whole grumpy thing. This is how it all came about. And I'll admit I can be a grumpy guy, but where I work at one point some years ago, there was an overabundance of people named Mike. right? So some delineation had to be made. And one of them one day, people just, because he always had this stupid smile on his face, so people started calling him Happy Mike. And then one day, a bunch of us are standing around, and somebody asked, hey, Happy Mike this or whatever. And one of the other guys looked at me and said, if he's Happy Mike, you're definitely Grumpy Mike. And it stuck. They started calling me Grumpy Mike. And I guess probably so, because when it comes to, I like having a good time and everything, but when it comes to work, I want to get my work done. And sure. if you're doing anything to impede me getting my work done, I'm not shy about saying something to you about it. So I suppose I deserved that, but that's where the whole Grumpy Mike thing came from. And when it was time to start a channel, it's like, okay, you look at all these witty login names, and okay,
yeah, I don't have one of those.
Yeah, I said, they call me Grumpy Mike anyway. Well, Grumpy Mike, and
that's where I looked at it. Like I had two ways to go. It was, funny, unique screen name I actually have to put thought into, or just use my name like Phil McKnight does. And I'm like, I'll take the easy route because, I'd love to be the next Phil McKnight in many ways. And that's kind of what I looked at. And when I met him, he goes, dude, stupidest thing I ever did was name a channel with my own name. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. Yeah, well, live and learn.
Yeah, but you'd be amazed. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't even make the connection. I thought his channel was Know Your Gear. And I'm looking at the screen where it says Phil McKnight, but it's the Know Your Gear channel.
Well, and I go through the same thing with Canucks with Guitars. Like, I just realized that, yep, same thing. Gotta shoot, because that's the original thing started on the channel was the Canucks with Guitars show. But yet the channel was under my name. And
and then it's a certain point, it's like, why the hell change?
Exactly. So I'm like, I answer to both.
There you go.
Well, Doug knows, like, when we travel or vacation together, like, hell, by the second year we were vacationing down south together, people just yell out, Canuck! We knew it was us, What's up? And then he's like, who are they? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, you probably ran into him at a party in a camp. Exactly. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, well, I'm so tiny. I'm fortunate. Nobody's recognized me yet. I'm waiting for that day that I walk into the local guitar center and somebody goes,
thought I recognized you last month.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized you last month when I'm waiting for Paul Ewing outside his building. And I just happened to look in the rearview mirror and your doppelganger. I'm like, holy fuck, that's Grumpy Mike. Like, if my phone was out, I would have taken a photo of the guy and sent it to you because I'm like, dude, it's freaky. Like, even, same hair, same beard, everything, same glasses. I was just like, okay, this is weird.
That's one of the weirdest things, because I always see people that look like other people. I can't think of anyone I've ever known that I haven't seen somebody who looks exactly like them. I have never, with my own eyes, seen anybody I thought looked even remotely close to looking like me. But all the time people are saying, hey, I saw this guy. Were you over on such and such a road? No, it wasn't me. This dude looked just like you. Okay.
Let's see. Scott Brockway asks, Mike, are you going to increase your content this year?
Oh, okay. I haven't had a video out in a couple of weeks, and there's a reason for that. It's kind of I'm limited as to what I can talk about. My next video was supposed to be about a particular piece of gear. I got the piece of gear in, it did not function correctly. So I got in touch with the manufacturer, really nice guy, and he's been real straight up. So been trying to work out some issues, and is it a question of whether or not I got a bad unit or whatnot. So trying to work that out. So that put that video on hold. The next thing I was going to do a video on, I haven't been able to get my hands on yet. So now I'm kind of scrambling trying to. I've actually started work today on a pedal that I'm going to do a video on. But right now I'm in that kind of awkward thing where I have to buy a bunch of stuff. You know, I keep wondering what it's like to have manufacturers actually sending you gear, just because everything's got to come out of the wallet.
I have like literally the tip of my pinky in that world. You know, and hey, Dave, good to see you, man. And Stu Rat 5150's here. Jumped in. Blackjack Guitar Nut. My knees hurt. BC Rich 581 chose a guitar brand and threw just some random numbers. That works, sure. Yeah, we got all kinds of the cool kids in here. Feel Button. 63 of you watching. There is Mr. Pedals himself. LPD Pedals. Maker of fine artisan pedals and tone toques.
I'd love to have a tone toque, but I have no use for it in South Florida.
Hey, Pops! Quentin James in the house. He liked Terry's 3Gs. He's here as well. He woke up, and so did Quentin. I don't think they were napping together.
See, and Terry 3Gs. That's another one. When I first started, commenting in the chats and whatnot, Terry is one of the ones that really reached out and was super nice. Hi, Terry. So
Brad Guitar Miller is here.
Brad Miller, yes, another one of my subs.
Stu Rat 5150 says, what did he say? There's Christian Hunter as well. Stu Rat says, I want a Grumpy Mike Knows My Tone shirt. Nice.
You know what? One of these days I may have to just get some merch. I may have to do that. You know what I really want? I want one of those like Dickies work shirts. With that's what I want. Yeah. But
every time I see when I'm watching What the FAQ on Flipside Music, when I see one of the guys wearing one of them, I'm like, hey, send me one of those shirts. They're like, fuck you. We got to embroider those. They're not cheap. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, send me one anyway.
That's how we text with each other. It's how our shows are, and we love each other. No matter what. It's hilarious. And everyone should check out, Flipside as well. They're closing in on 2,000 subs. So
yes,
definitely check them out.
Sub to Flipside. I love their videos.
Oh,
two of the guitar shop videos that I really like, Flipside and Casino Guitars. I love the Casino Guitars videos. Excellent. If you're not subbed to them as well.
Hey, Jack Collins.
They're worth it. So.
Jack Collins from Louisiana. Charles 75N. Nice. Big old crowd here. Love it. So yeah, keep any questions, comments. Everyone, I know a good one because it helps with the algorithm. Just saying, as a fellow YouTuber, and if you have any questions about YouTube, definitely ask away. I meant to mention that off air. I've
got a bunch of questions about YouTube.
Perfect. What I was going to say is, folks, when you do these live streams to help promote them, one is a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Doesn't matter. It's an interaction. But two, chat interaction. So how about everyone type in where they're from? And that'll just, let the chat fly. We'll just let her fly for a bit, and we'll see where everyone's tuning in from. See, what I'll say, I learned about that. I figured that because they mention it as a stat in the YouTube studio, so it must mean something. Oh, yeah, and Mr. Pedals there, you guys want to hear like good people, a good player playing pedals that are good as well, so double dose of good. Sub to Lawrence. He throws stuff up there, and it's good. And he's only 24 away from the 1K mark. So let's see. We've got...
Oh, we definitely need.
Well, look at that. First in the Grumpy Mike, South Florida. No kidding. Unfucking believables from elsewhere. Perfect. Scott says he's from Nampa, Idaho. Bull. I say bull because I just mailed him a pedal, so I know where he is. However, his closest mail distribution center is in fact Nampa, so that I get. We got Mesa, Arizona, New Jersey, DeSoto, Iowa. Yeah, no kidding. Knew that as well. Again, pedal deal. Denton, Texas. Nice. Vancouver Island, God's country. Exactly. Minden, Ontario. Love it. We've got,
somewhere I'd love to go, Scotland.
Louisville, fucking Kentucky. Love it. Hartford, Connecticut. Nice. 3 hours away from me. Perfect. Stamford, Connecticut. Just a bit west of Erin. Been to your town, Marsman. I've been there. Larry George. Good to see you. From Pennsylvania. That covers a lot of territory. Love it. He's just from rural, we'll say. JP Page is from France. Okay. Las Vegas for James Severin. Nice. Tampa. Nice. Okay. Scotland. Yeah. Graham. See, I knew there is someone else. Follow on the social medias like the Instagrams. Graham Campbell. Because he does guitar stuff and nature stuff. And you get to see these beautiful photos of Scotland. Beautiful. Sometimes you don't see much. And he's like, hey, it was a foggy day. Because it's just gray. Just gray. But that's okay. Brighton, Michigan. I know the area. Ohio. Woodbury, Connecticut. Nice. Andy Dion's just saying, hey, good. Mayhem's from my garage. Sure. Western Maryland. Savannah, Georgia. Wichita, Kansas. Seattle. Brooklyn. All right, James. Good to see you. Another new name in the chat. Welcome, my man. Westport. Central Texas. Fresno. Tito Zoda. Nice. Yeah, Dale's from across the lake. See, we're getting a lot of variants. Oh, I'm in proximity to Ben. I love that, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, Dale and I, we complain every spring about the level of Lake Ontario because it can fluctuate a few feet. And since we're on either side, Hans 36 Solos in Johnny Bean's kitchen. Perfect. Randy Crooks is asking Mike to show his number one. That's right. Thomas is from Buffalo. Stephen Douglas is right on the Mason-Dixon line. Ooh.
Isn't she beautiful? I love this guitar. This is the best guitar I've ever owned.
It's a nice combination, railhammer and a P90.
Yeah, it's just it's everything. The neck, everything about this guitar it's like it was made for me. And I love it.
As much as I don't like the looks of a railhammer pickup, they offset it with the awesomeness of their tone.
Yeah.
It's like, damn you! I wanted to, it'd be like, I want to just rip you out and put something else in, but I can't because it works.
Yeah, periodically I look on Reverb to see if I can't pick up one or two rail hammers used at a good price, just because there's other guitars I want to throw them in, And
it shows you how good they are, because you would think as a company that ships with them, there could be a plethora of them out there on the market as people are pulling them out, putting stuff in, but no.
No, I can't see somebody getting one of these guitars and going, oh, you know what? I just need to replace that pickup. I just can't see it happening.
Yeah. About as often as people going in, hey, can you go into a tech? Can you bypass the bass contour?
That's one of the best things about the guitar.
Isn't it?
It's
exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
I want every guitar I own to have that. I really do.
Yeah. It's like the resonance knob on an amp. I'm like, why doesn't every amp have this?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I think which one? One of
my
amps.
Guitar Man 45. Great cock. Promotes that one again. Stuart's asking which model Reverend is that?
It is a 2017. It is the Double Agent 20th Anniversary Limited Edition. It was, I guess celebrating their 20th anniversary in 2017. And it's even got a little, let's see, a little thing on the headstock here, commemorating the thing. I picked it up used. I walked into, it's funny. The first time I decided I was going to get one of the 2020 Epiphones, I had my mind made up. I was going to get the SG Modern Figured, and they had one in stock at the local Guitar Center. And so that's what I was going in to get. And
Mhm.
as I do anytime I go in there, I'm going to play a bunch of stuff first. So I'm going around. I walked around to the used section, and there it was. I went, oh, never seen one of these before. Picked
Right.
it up, started playing it, forgot all about the SG, and walked out with that guitar. And I do have a video, one of my videos. It's called A Sudden Change of Plans, and that's when I picked up the Reverend, and nothing has beat it since. It's just there. I still do like, and I will stand by my Harley Benton 450 SC 450 Gold Top. I love that guitar. It's a great guitar for 150, 160 bucks. You
Right.
can't beat it.
Sure.
But to me, that guitar plays like it cost 5 times that much. It really does. It's that good. I can't say quite the same thing about the other LP style Harley Benton that I got. It's still good, but not like that Gold Top. I love it. The Epiphone SG that I just did a video on, I thought was my last video. Great guitar. Love playing it. The neck's a little different from what I'm used to, but great
Sure.
guitar. But this guitar is just, I can't. I was telling you before you went live. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Phil McKnight thinks about the 2 Reverends that he got. I really want to see what his opinions are of those guitars.
And
Um,
also on Reverend, I do believe our friends at Flipside are doing a Flipside exclusive Reverend.
oh, really?
Just saying.
Ah,
Just saying, folks. Just saying.
well,
Who do I see here? Yes, Andy Dion says sometimes a guitar calls to you. I fully believe in that. And there's Mitch Heyman in the house. Good to
oh,
see Mitch
Mitch.
in here.
Yeah.
Craig Tomlinson. Vincent, if I could talk tonight, Vincent Stagliano says, was lucky enough to find Paul Unkert living an hour south of me in New Jersey. He just set up my EVH Wolfgang, playing great. That is awesome. And for those who don't know who Paul Unkert is, he's the guy that built all the Kramers for Eddie Van Halen. And I say Kramers because sure, it'd say Kramer on the headstock. Paul wasn't really, he didn't build guitars for any other Kramer people. Like he literally just built guitars for Eddie, and that was it. And he handmade the necks. So it's not like, they might be ESP bodies, but they're not ESP necks or Kramer necks or anything like that. They're Paul Unkert necks.
Well, see that, and you bring up a good point, because that's something that does kind of bother me with signature guitars. For example, the Steve Vai signature guitars, and you'll pay a lot of money for those
Yep.
guitars, but that is not the guitar that he plays. It has
Exactly.
nothing to do with the guitar that he actually
Yeah.
plays.
Yeah.
I have a little problem with that.
Yeah. And I'll even go as far as, let's say, I'm just going to pick Jimmy Page, for instance. Now, let's say Jimmy Page, they're going to do a Les Paul. Well, Jimmy's a big enough player. Let's do it at 3 tiers. There's an Epiphone with that honey burst, and that's going to be the Jimmy Page Epiphone Les. But other than that, that's basically it's going to be the burst is a little different, and that's it. Then you'll get into the Gibson USA production. Okay, it's going to still have that burst. It'll have, similar wood as far as flameage, stuff like that. You may get the wiring to a point, but then to get the same thing that he plays, then you're going to go custom shop. And I think they should do that. At least have the option over custom shop light, if you want to call it, the full on. If I'm buying his signature guitar, I want exactly what he plays and set up like he plays it.
Right. Well, with Epiphone, you have Epiphone inspired by Gibson. I can get, Epiphone Les Paul inspired by Slash.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I get
Perfect.
the inspired by, but
Yeah.
I've had a thing against signature guitars for the longest time. And then one day it occurred to me, one of my favorite guitars of all time is actually a signature guitar, you know, a Les Paul. So
Yeah.
I had to kind of reevaluate my snobbery there.
Right. No, and you know, it's like I can't claim, you know, let's say like the Stratocaster, it's not a signature guitar, but we know Leo put it in 3 or 4 players' hands to get feedback, you know, in a sense, you know, so it was very much designed for a certain thing in many ways. And yeah, hey, flying pickle, little dinosaur, just popping in here, just decided to fly in, gonna fly back out. Nice.
Yeah. Huffle and Bubbles say hi, flying pickle. Hey, Roxy.
Stu Rat's asking if anyone has any Eastman guitars. Those are some nice guitars.
Yes, I would like to get an Eastman.
Dave's Guitar Channel says, why does anybody want exactly what is perfect for someone else? The Les Paul is more of a Ted McCarty guitar than a Les Paul. That's true. As well.
Very true.
Well, it depends. I guess the only, like, for me, at least at this point, you know, and I could say even for the last 10 years or more, the only time I would probably look at a signature guitar, because I'm not a super fanboy of any one guy, would be if I'm playing in a tribute band. You know, like you're playing in a Van Halen tribute band, you damn well better have a striped guitar. You know, unless you're doing all Van Hagar stuff, then just play Wolfgang. You know, or you know, something to that effect. But even then, don't we do that to a certain you know, like if you're a band that relies a lot on you're playing a lot of Stones, you're going to have a Strat and a Tele in there, and probably a Les Paul Jr. in the mix. So
I've already decided if I ever get drunk enough to buy a guitar with a Floyd Rose on it, it's going to be a Wolfgang.
Oh yeah, smartest. So. Yeah. Because if you're going to get one, especially I always say the professional wiggle sticks, get it decked. Yeah. Like, you know, unless you're doing the flutter, like that's the only, or you want to pull up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a dive bomb kind of player, so that just doesn't appeal to me. I got to tell you, again, going back to this guitar, this Wilkinson on here is fantastic.
Nice.
It is the Wilkinson WVS 50, I guess Mark II, something like that. I think that's what it says. It's just smooth as silk, just really nice. Really
in the house, we have the one, the only Boner Jams. He says, ladies and gents, let me introduce you to the Dark Lord of the Vape, Ben Coombs, accompanied by Grouchy Mike. Have a great week, everyone.
Yeah, I'm grouchy sometimes too. Miss Grumpy will attest.
Grumpy on the sunny days, grouchy on the rainy days.
Yeah, well, usually grouchy when I'm hungry.
Oh, okay.
Or yeah, you know, or on those days when I have to deal with too many of my customers at work. You know, some days I get through it without actually having to encounter them.
Hey, PJ in the Beard.
I do a service route, so I walk onto people's property and do things without their knowledge.
I do that too, but it's not called a service route.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Thank you again, Boner Jams. And yeah, hey, PJ in the Beard, another great channel. Thank you, Terry, for posting a link to Mike's channel, because last I checked, you were up 10. You're up 10.
I know. That's why I just saw that a little bit ago. That's fantastic.
Nice. Edwin Crane. So yes, if you haven't already, folks, please subscribe to Grumpy Mike. We do some cool content. And it's like I'll check out pretty much, I'll check out pretty much everyone in the community's channel at least twice. You know, because I'll give you a once, even though like, whoa, that could have just been a bad morning, we'll say. But you had me hooked. I was just like, I like this guy. I like the cut of his jib.
Well, just so you know, from the beginning and to this day, I still haven't got a clue what I'm doing.
Neither do I, dude.
I had never edited a piece of video before I did this. I mean, when I started the channel, when I started the channel, it was purely because people started subscribing to my channel when there was nothing there. I mean, there was nothing for them to watch, and I kept feeling guilty. It's like, well, I should at least put up a video, just to acknowledge, and say, hey, thanks for. I'm getting, my lights are flashing for some reason.
Gussie Wells dropping in to say hello. Awesome. Jeff K asks, hey, Ben, know anyone who has a guitar made by Nags? Heard some good things. I know few Nags owners, but if you just look 2 comments below yours there, Bent Tom, he owns a Nags, and he likes it. Also, people I know that have Nags, RJ Ronquillo and Larry Mitchell. I'm not name dropping because they are friends. Michael Easter just subbed. There we are. Just repositioning myself here. I bet my inner OCD camera's pointing off to the side. It's throwing me off. Let's see here. What amps does Mike play? Look like you got a Blues Deluxe behind you.
It's a Hot Rod Deluxe that's behind me. Below it, I have a Marshall DSL 40.
Nice.
Right over here, I have a Marshall Origin 50. And sitting on top of that is a PV Classic 20. If I point over right down there, I've got a Line 6, the Katana 2, Mark II.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and over there, I've got a Spark. I've got a Randall RT50 sitting over there. What else?
That's what I like to hear. A nice hodgepodge of gear.
Yeah, just stuff. Actually, I think the Randall's probably going to go away soon. I'm probably going to sell it off. I want to get something kind of AC-15 shaped.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, I've kind of had that. Oh, that good question to ask. I don't know anything about this amp. I just became aware of them. By the way, I've got a lighting problem going on over here. But have you ever heard of what's it called? Frizzell amps? I think it's.
I see. I want to say yes, but I also seem to know. Was it Bernie Frizzell? Guitar player?
I don't know.
Manager. See, I know the name Bernie Frizzell. Frizzell amps.
Let me go down here. It's spelled. Well, let's see if I can get.
Scott Brockway says like Bill Frizzell.
That's what I want to know. It's Frenzel, Frenzel, and they make like a AC type head. They make a few different heads. I've never heard of them before. I read a few reviews that seem to say they're pretty good, but I don't know. And they're priced, kind of in the range that I can actually. The amp I really want is the Engel Fireball 25. Oh yeah.
Oh, these guys do all kinds of stuff. Oh, 2 power amps. Well, that's just asking for trouble. No, if you're doing power amps for like a PA system, folks, stick with solid state. As much as we love tube, you don't need tube in your PA. You know what the problem with tube PA system is? That's what created the 40-minute set, folks, because after 40 minutes, your PA went quiet from overheating. Then you let her cool for 20, rock and roll for 40, let her cool for 20. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, tubes are good for guitar amps, not great for PAs.
Yeah.
Now, old tube PAs are good to convert to guitar amps.
Speaking of which, yes, who was mentioning it today? Richard Fortis on with Pete Thorne says he loves tracking down Marshall PA heads. He says they sound great to play through. I'm like, exactly. One of our favorite things as guitar players is using a piece of gear purely for what it wasn't intended for.
Yeah. A great podcast, if anyone's not aware of it. If you are, you're probably also a fan of El Pato, but The Truth About Vintage Amps with Skip Simmons, the guy from what's the guitar magazine, the real fancy guitar magazine,
the fancy one.
Yeah, the expensive one that comes out like 2 or 3 times a year. I'm having a brain fart. But anyway, it's a podcast called The Truth About Vintage Amps. And this guy, Skip Simmons, he's been repairing old vintage amps for a long time. And it's a lot of technical stuff that I don't understand, but I'm still addicted to it anyway. And one of the things he does is find old PA heads, old tube PA heads, and converts them to guitar amps.
Perfect.
So, yeah. I'd like to get one of those, actually.
Ben Tom says guitar aficionado.
Is that it? What? I don't know why I can't think of it. Now I'm gonna have.
I think I remember guitar aficionado. It seems to me Richie used to buy that on occasion, and just for us to chuckle at. We're like, look at these tone snobs. Like it's like this is the oh my god.
Okay,
the snobbery.
I'll find it. Fretboard Journal. That's the one.
Fretboard Journal.
Fretboard Journal.
Thanks.
And the Fretboard Journal podcast is good too, but he also does one with Skip Simmons and Truth About Vintage Amps. You'll get a bunch of tube talk. You'll get recipes.
Perfect.
And El Pato. If you don't know what El Pato is, learn it, love it, live it. I'm addicted to this stuff now. So
10 Solo Music says, Ben, tremolo versus vibrato. Well, are we talking about actual tremolo versus vibrato, or Leo's Fender's idea of tremolo versus vibrato? Because, goddamn, as much as he got right, he equally got as much stuff wrong.
Yeah.
Like, don't even get me started on the angle of a bridge pickup that should be the opposite of what it is.
Well, remember, Leo didn't play.
Exactly.
He was not a player. He was just going by what other people told him. So
yes, but other stuff, genius. Like bolt-on necks. Why would you replace the frets in a neck? Just put a new neck on it.
Well, for one thing, because you can.
Yeah. So yes, back to the tremolo. I'm not into pitch shifting, like that blatant pitch shifting. No, because I'm not sober, so that messes with equilibriums and such. And no, it's like putting on a phaser too fast. It just sounds wrong.
I don't like effects overdone. Too in your face.
Depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I know if in certain and any sound, and see that goes to any guitar. You can talk about the pickups in that guitar are crap, and they may well be, but I guarantee you there is a song, there is a place where exactly that sound is perfect.
Yep, exactly.
Same goes for a microphone. Same goes for a microphone. Same goes for anything, because there can be a place, even if you just, you want that, the sound like it's coming through a telephone speaker, well, I've got a piece of junk mic that's not good for anything else, but it's perfect for that.
Stuart saying, loving the stream. Ben, get a better internet service provider? No, lucky. Just lucky.
I was going to say the stream looks really good tonight. Just what I'm looking at here. Looks excellent.
Nice. That's always helpful. For some reason, it doesn't like it. StreamYard somehow, I don't know, it spreads out the bandwidth when you have a guest on or something. I don't know what it does. Chicanery, silicon chips, and space-age polymers, likely. It's all that. Let's see here. Nice and crisp. Yeah, so definitely tremolo or tremolo. Tremolo. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just looking at I have a tremolo on my board. I don't have a vibrato on my board. Although I do want a univibe of some kind. I haven't found the right one yet. I always say I want one and I can't use one, but I still want one.
Well, I'll tell you the video that I'm working on right now, I'll give you a little heads up. It's the BBE Soul Vibe.
Ooh.
Have you ever tried one of those?
No. BBE pedals are a rare breed in my neck of the woods.
Really?
Yes.
I'll tell you, it lived. I've had this pedal a long time, and it has lived on my pedal board since I got it. And the only reason it came off of my pedal board was when I got the new Electro Harmonics Eddie, which is a vibrato chorus type thing. But no, and there's a little secret. I'll just leave it at that. There's a little secret that is kind of hidden about the Soul Vibe. And that's basically the gist of what the video is going to be.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's a fantastic vibe pedal. It really is. I've had univibes before, but I think I like the Soul Vibe a lot better.
All right. See you, Guitar Man 45. He's off.
Oh, later, Guitar Man.
Watch zombies or something. Watch the second half tomorrow on replay with your morning coffee then, Guitar Man 45. That's my... And Gussie's like me, might be a Canadian thing. We're not sure how to pronounce it. Because, we're not British. We're not American. We don't know how to pronounce stuff. So, Lawrence knows that. That's why he stopped. Have you noticed since Lawrence and I became friends, he stopped using Spanish names on stuff? Why? Because he knows I can't demo it. I'm sure that's the reason. No other reason whatsoever, right, Lawrence? That was it. Either that or he's just going to start going back to Spanish out of spite. He goes, here, let's see him name this one. Yeah, or literally, I'm looking at my delay pedal. All it just says delay. There's no name on it. It's the White Rabbit delay, but it just says delay. It's like perfect. Exactly, Gussie. I think you're right. Yes, Dan in New Jersey, the Boss C2, definitely.
Well, wait, what was it? Scott Brockway say, yeah, whammy low instead of tremolo. It's whammy low.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a tremolo system. That's a vibrato system on a guitar.
Yeah. Well,
what? Lawrence, if you want to, I know Lawrence is doing yet another iteration of his delay. Since I like the White Rabbit so much, how about you just name your next new one the White Rabbit, and we can just use Emery's word there, and we'll just call the delay that I love the Del-A. I like that. Just DEL-EH. Del-A. Perfect. Lawrence, can we make that happen? Talk to marketing. R&D. I know I was talking to them last night quite extensively, which I don't know if I'm allowed to tease. Lawrence has another overdrive in the works, folks. I'm just saying, and it's awesome, and I'm getting one. That's all I'm saying so far. It's a limited run. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. So
I was wondering who would be the first to say, I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. So Stuart 5150.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
I like that, the Del-A.
That's good.
Lawrence, let's do that. Then we can sell them through Emery. See how that all works, Mike? Oh, we've got the design, we've got the retail. I guess I'm promotions or mascot. Either way. The White Rabbit needs to be a cathedral reverb. Well, it's a delay, and I like it. Emery's in. Lawrence has gone radio silent. Although the last thing he commented was ha 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 ha. So he could be on the floor, literally holding his guts from busting open over the sheer blatant chicanery. You know what you were talking about, just walking up and meeting people? See, I'll just work with pedal company right there. We need to make this happen because exactly. And unfucking believable is an investor. See, so the financial end of things. So we've sold one already because Unbelievable buy one just out of spite. Although I think he already has the White Rabbit delay.
Yeah, that's
I think they're analog voiced digital delays, PJ, and/or the Beard. I want to say PJ avec le Beard. I don't know why. Stu Rat's in. There we go. You were the first to have it. Of course you were. What was I thinking? That's right. Somehow he becomes the first to own everything, Mike. Like, you watch on a regular basis. You know I'm a Lawrence fanboy, and I'm pretty blatant about it. But then he just dips into the chat and he goes, "Hey Ben, I just got a chorus pedal from Lawrence." I'm like, "What? Since when does Lawrence do modulation in any way, shape, or form?" And I've been bitching at Lawrence to do modulation since 2019, but he's like, "No, I'm not into that, man. That's not my bag." And I'm like, "All right, well, fair enough." And then all of a sudden Unbelievable's like, "I got one." I'm like, "How? What? Design?" He's got his finger on the pulse and he's local. Yeah, I think, yeah, exactly. I noticed that because, when I got the package last week, speaking of unfucking believable, he's going to be joining us tomorrow night on Canucks with Guitars just to pick Tom's brain about stuff, I guess. Doesn't want to talk to me, just wants to talk to Tom. That's fine. I'll just mute my mic and sit here. I think he's taken Lawrence out to 5 martini lunches. That's the key. 5 martini lunches.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Keith H. wanted to know how heavy my Harley Benton Gold Top is.
Yes.
And, well, it's about that heavy. Honestly, I don't have a scale, but it's lighter by, I would say, about a pound and a half from my Gibson Les Paul. It's definitely lighter than my Gibson, but it's not what I would call a light guitar, which I actually like. I don't know what it is. When I pick up a Strat, and put it, I don't expect a Strat to be heavy. And by the same token, when I pick up a Les Paul, I don't expect it to be light. And when they are light, it bothers me. I don't know what it is. In fact, I was so dumb when I was shopping for a Gibson when I bought my Les Paul. I didn't even realize that they had started chambering out the bodies. And I couldn't understand why I wasn't liking any of the Les Pauls I was picking. I was like, it doesn't feel right.
Right.
And then I picked up a traditional model, the Les Paul traditional. Is like, no, this is it. This is what I'm looking for.
This is going to hurt my shoulder and back.
Exactly. But now let me give you some background on that. Since I can remember, heavy things don't bother me. When I was in high school, I was in the drum corps. I started out in the drum corps playing the trip toms, the big harness with tom-toms mounted on it, and it was heavy as all get out. And I marched around with that heavy thing. Weight doesn't bother me. However, a guitar, another one, to me, a Telecaster doesn't feel right unless it's heavy.
You're like, something's off.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right. So I don't know.
Lawrence says this is scoliosis with strings. And hello, brother Aaron from Albus Band. Good to see Aaron here. He's doing dad duty. Nice. What was I going to say? I saw something.
Oh no. My
Lauren says he
hurt.
can't design or remember anything after 5 martinis. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, just for the record, my knees hurt. I've had my share of back problems. I have. So not nearly.
Yeah, Telly should be 7.5, 8 pounds. Yep.
About that. Yeah, that's about right. Yep. Yeah. So
nice.
I don't know. I can appreciate a nice light guitar, but I don't know. To me, though, it needs to have some weight to it, or it just doesn't jive with me. So
nice.
Oh wait, let's see. Stuart 5150 says he's 6 bourbons in. Well, you better catch up.
Nice. Cheers.
In the shot glass of many skulls.
Perfect. We're petitioning Lawrence to make more pedals, Aaron. Oh, and hey, Dwight, joining him. So just to recap, and also, folks, and what a run it's been, we are down to 1 nice Drive A left available in the world for sale. It's only available by contacting Lawrence directly, because I haven't seen the Flipside guys in here yet to be able to guilt them into carrying it into their inventory. Although they sold 2 in the last week. So Lawrence, you might want to reach out to Ike and just say, hey man, you just sold 2 in the last week. You might want to just take the last one. Okay. Apparently Tom wants it. So that would officially sell out the nice Drive A, which means then we got to start the rally for a second run, folks. Or do we design a new pedal? I think we need to keep going with that one. It's sold out, apparently.
Janice Lala says, I have a potentially unwanted thingy on my laptop. Janice, I'm sorry, but Ben wants me here.
Awesome. Well, okay. So Tom just bought the last one, so we're sold out. So the question is then, do we, folks? We got 64 people watching. We'll type 1 in the chat. Should we do a second run, folks?
I say
so
yes.
Type 1 in the chat if you want to see one, and how about we type 11 in the chat if you're not only want to see it, but you're interested in getting one. Because, you don't have to get it today, tomorrow, next week. Lawrence has to order parts and stuff. So it'll be like down the road during 2021. This year, we're saying. Okay, Randy Crooks is interested. So definitely a second run. So that we could 1 pre-sold possibly.
Well, Lawrence, if you wanted to send me one to review, I would probably make time in my schedule to review your pedal. And then buy it.
So Emery from 10 Solo says yes and wants to buy one. So that'd be 2 sold. Nice. So we're getting some rallying here. I understand my knees hurt.
Yes.
One of the reasons I need to do a second run. Because then we're going to start the petition for Lawrence to build a phaser. I'm just saying.
I'm currently waiting for my tax refund checks so I can, get the gas thing out of my system.
That helps with the gas. It helps alleviate it a little bit because you can top up the tank. See, yes, that was the other thing. Well, there we are. Lawrence says, you might want to write down that email address.
I will. I absolutely will, Lawrence. By the way, I apologize for not having already bought any of your pedals, but again,
I don't mean to swear, but Christ Almighty, there's the name of my signature phaser. A phaser. I may not put the question mark in the middle, but I'd spell it Phehser.
That's
yes.
perfect.
I got to take a photo of that because I'm not going to remember that awesomeness. Lawrence, please, let's design a phaser together and call it that. Pretty please with sugar on top.
And hey, Scott Brockway, the House passed it. The Senate has not. It's still got a ways to go, and it's politicians and they all suck. So,
So and Tom is very interested as well. Okay, so we want a Del A apparently.
I love the Del A.
Yep, the Del A, the phaser. Tom wants a phaser as well. So that's 2 phasers sold, and we got at least 2 nice drive A's sold. And we know Aaron is a pedal guru, and he has the faith that Lawrence can make a killer phaser. Lawrence, apparently, see that I was thinking it, Emery. I didn't want to say it, but Emery just says Lawrence needs to do a Canuck line of pedals. Because when you think Canadian pedals, you think Mesa, Arizona. Oh, dang. Yes, the flange, eh?
You can call it the North of the Border series.
There we go. The north of the 49th. Which then we have to do 50 pedals because 50 is north of 49.
There you go.
Aaron's giggling. All we have to do is the GWN series for the Great White North series. Nice. See, it's all coming together. I'm just saying.
It's happening. It's happening.
Yes. For the Master Mute, the takeoff, eh? Yes.
Where's Bob and Doug when you need them?
Hopefully not with their lawyers for copyright.
Oh, wouldn't it be funny if you got a copyright strike for that?
Right. James, great idea. We need some Hoser cables, so we got to reach out to Dylan at Hosta to rebrand it, with his font and everything, but labeled Hoser instead of Hosa. Tom, write this stuff down. Aaron, you know Dylan over at Hosa. You mentioned that. Because there's nothing says Canadian pedals like Mesa, Arizona. Well, there is probably a lot of snowbirds down there, a lot of Canadians in the winter.
Yeah, it's not as if there are, it's hard to find a Canadian in South Florida in the winter, right? You all come down here. Yeah. When I first moved to South Florida, one of the first things I saw was a bumper sticker that said, what was it? South Florida, in fall, the leaves don't change color, but the license plates do.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's true. It really is true. The other bumper sticker.
I'm really shocked I haven't got an angry text from Lawrence just saying, just stop. Just stop.
You're making me do work.
That's what he's like, literally, dude, like you said, I've been telling you for 3 years, I'm not making a GD phaser for you. Well, I said he opened the door with a chorus. Once you open the door with a chorus, now, that means phases and flanges, oh my. He's flirting with the technology, folks. I don't know how similar the circuits are, but they're all counted as modulation, so that's got to be something. I don't know. I just plug them in, make stupid videos about them. That's it. Love bugs and snowbirds, exactly.
Oh, Stuart 5150. At this time, probably cranking up the amp would not be a good idea. But yeah, oh well, I might be able to do it. Hang on, let's see. Let's let some tubes warm up here. I forgot I have the Captor X now, so I can.
This is all I wanted. That's all I wanted to read. He says, "Since I'm so buried, it may take some time, but I'll say maybe." You heard that, folks. We got 54 witnesses. Well, 55 including Mike and me. 56. Well, no, 55 because Lawrence is one of them. So there we are. Yeah, and if you want to do a multi-effects of just modulation, Lawrence, we'll just call it a modulation situation. Oh. Well, yeah, if he wants to, Scott, if he wants to rebrand the 68 as the Plex A, yeah, we can talk about that. You know, maybe we just do some form of a Plexi that's modded to what I would like in a modded Plexi. You know, sure, Lawrence has his tricks. Friedman has his tricks. Jose did his whirly gigs, but I got ideas. It probably can't be done, but nice. Marsman's like, that's a good solid commitment. We'll take it. Exactly.
Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. What in the world? Let's see.
I'm going to have to come up with an all-Canadian pedal board.
Oh, that's why. All right.
Hey, Mad Raj, RJ. Good to see you, man. He is late, but he is here. Awesome. Aaron just perked up. He's like, oh, nice. Double agent.
Yeah, it's a great guitar. Oh, I love that guitar. All right, let's see.
Yeah, that's what else you missed, Aaron. We're talking, you know, much love to Reverend. I know Aaron's a big fan of theirs, and, you know, I'll say it once. I've said it probably 10 times at this point. They treated us like gold at NAMM.
What have I got?
Joe C., good to see you, my friend. Excuse me. Oh, I got the beer burps. Well, that's a beer and a half in.
All right. This cable does not have long for this world, but let's see if it works. That's what I knew. More than anything else, I wish I could get somebody to send me cables, free cables. I want cables.
You know what I would love right now? A string deal.
Oh,
strings.
Yeah. Like, I've got a little bit of an inside track, a place where I can get my beloved Ernie Ball regular Slinkies for a fairly good price, but boy, wouldn't it be nice just to get somebody to send you free.
Well, part of it I even mention is on the channel I do repairs and setups. You know, so I would be using nothing but Ernie Ball strings, say, on every setup. You know, and then the guy would show up with a packet of Darios. Hey, throw these on. No, you're getting ball sacks. What? Yep. Let's see. Stu Rat asks, where in Canuckistan? I am in the GBA, which is the Greater Belleville, Ontario area. Actually, technically, still in Quinte West, which is where I hailed from previously. Yeah, Steve from Boston just got a string deal up. Jealous? Yes, I'm jealous. We need Ryan Bruce to just jump into my chat and hook me up with a string deal. Who knows fluff? And please have him jump in my chat now, I guess.
That's by the way, that's another one of the channels that I like a lot. I like Fluff's videos quite a bit. Yeah.
You know, for a metalhead, he doesn't act and seem like a metalhead.
Okay, just out of curiosity, is this coming through?
Just acoustically.
Oh, then, yeah, I might not be able to make that happen. No, I'm not going to be able to make it happen. I got
Yeah, that
everything.
was a Dave's Forever. I thought so, Stu, right? Yeah, Ernie Ballsacks. I'm reading his mind. Brad, you have been, I want to shout out Brad Miller, because Brad Miller's basically been my string deal for the last 2 years. Like, I swear, Mike, every time I would get low on strings, Brad would randomly send me a 3-pack.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just, and I never once ever say, hey, I'm getting low on strings. Like, I may have been a repair van. I'm like, oh, I'm getting low on string. Next thing I know, just shows up in the mail because he has my address. I'm like, you sneaky son of a gun. I love you, Brad.
Oh, that's one thing I need to do. Hang on.
Ben be insulting the metalheads. No, Scott. I enjoy, there's metalheads, and then there's the metalheads who want to talk about nothing but metal. And if you don't like metal all the time, you're just an idiot. No. I did a video that got a lot of heat a couple of years ago called "Does It Pay to Shred?" And guess what? It doesn't. Unless you're famous, it doesn't pay.
Well,
I got a lot of hate on that video. Oh, stupid. I put it out a week before I left for NAMM, Mike. That's smart, eh? That's smart. Hey, Tinkerbell. Good to see you.
There we go.
Like, just explain, like, at least on a local level, if you're playing around, people just want to hear good old rock and roll, be able to dance to it. If the girls are dancing, they stay. And if they stay, the guys stay. And when the girls dance, they get thirsty and they drink more.
Mm-hmm.
The girls can't dance. They have a drink or two. And guess what? They dip to the next place. And then the guys follow the girls. So, unless you're playing a metal show, which is a sausage fest.
My old band back in the 90s, we had one big advantage, and that was our bass player was the head chef at a high-end strip club. And so whenever we would play anywhere, we would get like 25 strippers come to our shows. And that always brought in a crowd.
Or, as I always refer to the local ballet troupe.
Yeah, well, yeah. They were all quite graceful, I can tell you. It was kind of a bummer for me because the lead singer in our band, well, I was married to her. And this was
Nice.
my ex. And that's also why I don't have a band anymore. So,
dang, she got the band.
well, she destroyed it, but
well, they can do that.
Yeah. Well,
okay, Marsman. Yeah, Marsman remembers that video. That shows how long some people have been around on the channel too. If you remember that video, folks, high-end strip club, aren't they all? No,
they're not.
No. Put it this way, I remember when I became of age, even at that, we're talking early 90s, the good ones, you're paying $10 for a beer with a certain amount of drink minimum. The local ballet troupe, it was $2 for a small draft. And yeah, they offered such a thing as a small draft, which is essentially like more or less a can of pop, a little bit smaller than a small pop glass type thing. So, yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's Quebec girls. Yep. That seems to be the largest export of, at least in the 80s and 90s, out of Quebec amongst females. Strippers. Yep.
Well, I remember in Atlanta, I grew up in Atlanta, and back in the day in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, there were a couple of different strip clubs that would take turn burning each other's place to the ground.
Oh. Well, there you go. See, and Doug decides to chime in. He says he was at one of the Big Pour. That's what we call Peterborough, the Big Pour. It had AstroTurf and lawn furniture. Sure. Steve says strip clubs in SoCal are all penthouse models. Texas, well, not so much.
Well,
I just realized I know the place Doug was talking about in Peterborough. I'm not going to mention that establishment.
Ben Tom, it's funny you should mention the cheetah. We have the cheetah in South Florida too, and as a matter of fact, I've done work for the man who happens to own it. Nice. And visiting his house on occasion can be quite a sight.
No doubt. Lawrence, see you, my friend. He says, got to go build Tom's nice drive, eh? I hope you all have a great Sunday. See you tomorrow night. That's awesome that we sold out of that. That's awesome. I was really hoping between tonight and tomorrow we'd sell out of it. I was going to mention it to Tom. Well, fuck, I should have just texted him, apparently. So there we are. But hey, it's done, and we could do a second run and modulations and headaches, and he's going to be eating the Tums and the migraine stuff, and I'll just say, relax, Lawrence. No rush. So there we are. Robot Master Switch. Good to see you. And back to guitars. Nice. Nice. I'm not sure if Fruitcake Tony's still in here. He's still offering a deal, folks. The next half dozen new channel members. Well, I think of it. Where the hell is... Well, don't put the stash on it. That's how you lose stuff. We got some Mike Starr guitar picks we're giving away to the next 6 new channel members. Mike Starr, the original bass player for Alice in Chains, who, reminds me, question came in about an hour ago. We skipped it because Alice in Chains was the first rock concert I went to, because I did see Roy Clark previously, first big concert. But somebody had asked, what was the first concert or band of note that you've seen live, Mike?
Wait, what was the question?
Yeah, I came in about an hour ago. I forget who asked. They probably left out of spite, but they may still be here. But somebody had asked who the new, geez Louise, have another sip, sure. Who was the first big band? Like, what was the first big show you went to?
First big show that I went to was in 1979. The opening act was the Scorpions. Second up was Blackfoot, and the headliner was Ted Nugent.
Dang!
At the Omni in Atlanta, which doesn't exist anymore.
Right, the Omni.
That's where the Atlanta Flames hockey team used to play before they became the Calgary Flames. And
that's right.
Yeah. My stepfather actually used to play golf with the goalie from the Flames.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, the first time they lost a hockey team.
Yeah, well, I used to go.
Thrashers became the Jets again. Yeah, I don't know. It all moves around. It's like, yeah.
When I was a kid, we used to go to Braves games when there would literally be like 1,500 people in the stands. They were so bad, but I was there. I was at the stadium the night that Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
As a matter of fact, I have. What did I do with it? It's not handy. I've got an old autographed baseball. I've got signature of Phil Necro and let's see who else was on the team. Johnny Oates, Tom Tom House was a fantastic relief pitcher back in the day. But as much talent, another guy, Ralph Garr, great. He was known for stealing bases, and I was trying to get his autograph before a game. I'm holding out the ball, and I'm like, Ralph, please sign the ball. And he just looked at me and went, "Oh man, I gotta warm up." And then Hank Aaron was reaching out to grab my ball to sign it. And the Braves mascot, Chief Nakahoma, was standing right next to him. And right as Hank Aaron was reaching to grab the ball, Chief Nakahoma grabs it out of my hand and signs it and hands it. And I never got Hank Aaron's signature.
See, this is why I hate mascots.
I know.
They're dicks. They're fucking dicks.
I hated that son of a bitch after that.
Yeah. If you need to hire some little thing to rile up the crowd, to boost your team, how about your team not suck? Because guess what? If you're playing well, the crowd cheers, folks.
Yeah, trust me. Back in the 70s, the Braves, the Falcons, the Hawks, they all sucked. Sports in Atlanta was just a bad time.
Right. Dude, I'm a Toronto sports fan. I get it. Like before, when I was still following sports, I was a lifelong Leafs fan. So don't even get me started.
Oh my God, Stuart 5150. Where's Grumpy from? I keep thinking Detroit, but now I am wondering.
Yeah, Mike, you do have a very thick Detroit accent. Honestly.
Well, in high school, my best friend was from Flint, Michigan. However, I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and my family moved to Atlanta when I was in 4th grade. And I lived in the Atlanta metro area until about 20 years ago when I moved to South Florida. So
there we are.
And I can do the redneck accent if you want me to. I can do that real good now.
I'm a little out of practice. I haven't been down there in a while. But man, I can assimilate real fast. Just ask Doug. He just gives me that look. Like, what? What? Shut up.
And of course, I'm good at blending in, whatever my environment is. So, sure. Miss Grumpy is from New Jersey. And she's Jewish, and coming into it's a whole new culture for me. But now I've got the whole, what do you want, that I should die over here? I've got it down, but yeah, I figure
my biggest fear every time I have good friend Sean Horowitz on is I just want to talk like a Jewish person. I'm like, I'm not though. But it's just like you want to use certain turns of phrase and they don't sound right without a bit of the accent on it.
Yeah. I've had some weird experiences. We a friend.
Hey, AI gaming.
Yeah, a friend had passed away, and so there was a memorial service. They were Jewish, and I ended up somehow, when they have certain ceremony, they have to have what's called a minyan, and they didn't have enough people for a minyan, so I put on the kippah, and I was part of their minyan and happy to do it. It's a cultural. I love that stuff. I love.
It's an experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You only live once, like. That's like anytime not that anything like that's happened, but like if I was, I'd be like literally just sure, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, back in let's see, I guess it was about 1983. It was after I got out of high school. I had moved back to Chattanooga briefly, and my two best friends in the world there, Frank and Antone, they were a couple of black guys, and through them, I ended up going into situations, into neighborhoods where guys who look like me just don't go.
Hey, Jamal.
And it was fantastic. Back then, long before anybody had ever heard what pop and lock was, I was sitting in a room full of wonderful people, doing the, stuff, going around, sending that wave around and learn. That's where I first learned about rap and stuff, which I got into rap at first. I think it got kind of, I don't know. I lost. It kind of lost something for me. But I remember back in the early days of Run DMC and stuff, and I thought it was really cool. And like I said, just learning a culture that this white Southern boy never had any clue about. It was all cool. I dig that stuff. I
can relate. Some of my teenage anger was related on behalf of like listening to Public Enemy and watching like Boys in the Hood as a movie. I was just like, seriously, what the fuck? And I'm like, I am pet. I'm like, I have no game. I live in small town Ontario type thing, and the only, let me think, like we were literally 99.99%, Anglo-Saxon, type thing. Right, because that's what rural Ontario is. And like it's funny, we talk like half the phone book is V just for all the Dutch, because this was originally settled by Dutch in the area, so half the phone book's V's. And so I'm seeing all this, I'm just like, what in the actual fuck? And then my parents, what are you in a bad mood about? I'm like, do you see what's going on in the world? And they're like, yeah, we watch the news, we're aware. I'm like, social justice, and they're like, oh, isn't that cute? Because they were hippies. They get it. They're like, oh, isn't that sweet? They like that, side of thing. But I was just like, what can we do? They're like, not much. That we can just hope. I'm like, okay, thanks. Dang it. I'm gonna go listen to some more Public Enemy now. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly, I feel, if the world played more guitar, we'd all be better off. So,
exactly. Just relax.
Play some music, chill out.
Yeah.
Be good.
That's
why I close all my videos with
Jamal, I wasn't gonna say a fucking word, but since all I know is you're like, so we go into it, all I hear is Mike's like, so we're gonna go into the certain neighborhood, and all of a sudden Jamal's like, hey gang, I'm like, what in the actual fuck? I'm glad I wasn't drinking my beer at the time. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's right. Cousin Doug met Public Enemy. Because when you think of the one cornhole player, here in the chat, you think he'd be the one guy that met Public Enemy.
Let's see. Vin's RJ Grumpy, do you still have your first guitar? No, actually, I am searching. I've been looking for it. The first guitar that I bought for myself. Now, the guitar that I learned on, my stepfather, a guy that he worked with in his office, had a Telecaster and a Fender Princeton. It was a 1963 Telecaster and a blackface Princeton that he sold to my stepfather for dirt cheap. He had it in a closet and wanted to get rid of it. My stepfather bought it. That's the guitar I learned on. My first guitar that was mine was made by a company called, on the headstock at least, it said Memphis, and it was a black Les Paul custom copy. Mm-hmm. And it was a piece of junk. Mm-hmm. It had a twisted neck. The intonation could not be set on it. But I loved that guitar. I wish I still had it. And I've actually been looking, I search Reverb every now and then, looking for a black Memphis Les Paul copy to see if one ever pops up, because I will buy it if one ever does, just to have it. But yeah, that was my first guitar.
Nice. AI Gaming says, I grew up in the heart of Scarborough, which is east end of Toronto. Think of it that way. Near Mike Myers Road. Okay. names after Wayne's World. Yeah, record collection, collected everything from Sabbath, the Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5. I saw Maestro Fresh West, one of early Canadian rappers, at the Scarborough Town Center. AI gaming. So I get it. Yeah, that's the like Much Music. They just played everything like MTV would, and we just absorbed it as Canadians, I guess. So, yes, I just listened to everything. It just hip hop was good to skateboard too. I know that, right, Doug? There's just a shot for those of you. You know, you've seen me, you've seen Doug's been on the channel. Just imagine us skateboarding, listening to like NWA, Public Enemy. Sure, you know, because that makes sense.
So, Ben, were you into skateboarding?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know what an ollie is, right?
Oh yeah. Still cannot do one to this day.
Neither can I. But just so you know, he used to live right behind me, right across the alley. And we used to go to the gun range together all the time. Alan Ollie Gelfin, the man who invented the ollie, he's a friend of mine. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So
punk rock for skateboarding, that too. Yeah, because I was a big Bill Danforth fan. Because there was like, yeah, I was more into skate falling. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, well, Doug, I'm not the one that rebuilt his board, went outside and tried to ollie and cracked his deck in half because he didn't tighten the trucks enough. Right, Doug? I remember that day.
Now, do you know why they called him Ollie?
No.
Okay.
I may have at one time, but no now.
There used to be a restaurant chain, you know, kind of like it wasn't fast food. It was sort of like a Denny's style, a little higher end than fast food,
right?
Called Lums, L-U-M, and their hamburger, their classic hamburger was called an Ollie burger. And Alan really loved Ollie burgers, and he ate them all the time. And they started calling him Ollie. That's where he got the name.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. See, we're just dropping all kinds of stuff, like guitars and skateboards and strip clubs, and apparently Doug is involved with all of the above. Exactly, AI gaming, yes.
We can also talk firearms, because I tried my hand at blacksmithing it, or gunsmithing at one point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's no money in it. There really isn't any money in it. You'll spend just a shitload of money on tools and then never make that money back. So
Scott Barkley mentioned Suicidal Tendencies is skate music. Yeah, I listen to a lot of Suicidal Tendencies.
I saw the Suicidal Tendencies. Who was it? They opened up for somebody. Who did they open up for? It was an odd combination. It might have been a Rush show. I know I saw who am I thinking of? I'm having a brain fart. What's the Too Many Puppies? Oh, come on, help me with it. The guy, Les Claypool's band, Primus. Yeah, I saw Primus open up for Rush a couple of times, and maybe that makes sense. It might have been either Black Sabbath. I can't think of who it was, but yeah, I saw Suicidal Tendencies one time. They were hilarious on stage. A whole story about the teacher in grade school telling him to make a smiley face on a paper plate, and he made a big old frown and something like that. But yeah, and then they went into what's the one with All I Wanted Was a Pepsi?
Institutionalized. I love that song.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I've forgotten more concerts than I can remember. I every once in a while somebody will talk about something and it's like, oh, wait a minute, I did see them once.
Stuart asks, anyone know of a good telly with a mini hum in the neck? A mini hum in the neck. I do not.
No, I don't either.
That's it. I do not. Yeah, we're at that point in the show. When you're an hour and 48, nope. Sorry. Nope. I do not. See, I know humbuckers and single coils and P90s, but no mini hums.
Hey Ben, have you ever done anything with the what's the Seymour Duncan pickup, the one that you can switch between P90 double coil or single coil?
Yeah, I've never tried. I haven't tried one of them.
I'm super interested in
trying. I would be too. Especially come from the cover band world, that if you can cover a lot of territory just by flicking switches and dials, and sure, count me in.
Yeah, I want to talk to somebody who actually has hands-on experience with one, because I've got a few questions, but since in beginning of 2020 with all the crappiness, I'll never forget 2020 because it's the year that I fell in love with P90s. And anything, P90-ish, I'm going to be interested in any way. And then the versatility of being able to, so I want to see, just how close to a real P90 sound can it get.
Stuart says, you saw Phil say the mini hum was the best Tele neck pickup. I did. I don't agree. Personally, you know what I think the best Tele neck pickup is? The original Tele neck pickup, because there's no other neck pickup out there like that. It's not a lipstick. It's not a single coil. It's its own little mini singly. It's its own thing. And I don't know what it is, but I like it. It's glassy. It's awesome. It's chimey. Hell, my dad had a whole career just on using the neck pickup of a Tele all night.
I can tell you that 63 Tele that I grew up with, that guitar sounded so good, and the neck pickup was just so creamy. That's all. It had this rich, full, just kind of creamy sound to it. It was beautiful. I wish that guitar was still around.
Jay played a Tele with P90s. Really? Mr. Hannon actually played a Telecaster, eh? Good to know. I play a lot of Teles. Yeah, there's several hours a week on a Tele. But I go either way. It could be single coil or humbucker, because I do have my humbucker Tele, and that is my number one. It's my best playing, just because it's set up just that little bit better than all my other guitars. I don't know what it is. It's got a mojo to it. It's my number one. I wish it wasn't. I really do, because I have a lot more guitars that are worth more money, but yeah.
Oh, by the way, I mentioned earlier about that first concert with Ted Nugent and Blackfoot and the Scorpions. The other significant thing about that show was that day, that particular day was the very first time I ever heard Van Halen. That was, and I remember going to that show. My buddy was driving. He had a pretty good sound system in the car. And we had Ain't Talking About Love cranked to the max. And there's a car full of idiots, going down I-85 heading towards the Omni, hey, don't,
dang,
hey.
Oh, snap. Vimps69, hello, welcome, and holy fuck. A little something for the tone jar.
The tone jar, yes.
Holy, well, yeah. Hey, buddy. Thanks. Any questions, comment, concerns? Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, might as well have a little something. We will celebrate that.
Oh,
Jerry Cantrell has a telly with humbuckers. I would like one of those as well. Jerry has the yes, I will agree. AI gaming, you know, it's like there's lots of players I like, but when it comes to tone, I keep coming back to Jerry Cantrell. There's just something about his tone. It's just that I don't know what it is. It's a little bigger, a little heavier, a little clearer. It's everything. It's just I don't know what it is. It's just better. At least for my ears.
Jerry had great tone. Man, I love Dimebag's tone. I really love just he made that guitar sound so mean, but it was
at times I love his tone, at times I hate his tone. But one I gotta remember is you gotta listen to Pantera loud.
Yeah.
Because it changes. And two, like although I should say I've had the same love-hate relationship with Mick Mars's tone. It could be a love it and hate it, because I tell you, you're like, really? You like that chainsaw tone? I'm like, cuts to the mechs. You know?
Well, it does. And as long as you can make it, you know, keep it defined enough where, you know, it can be as gravelly or as dirty as long as the notes have enough definition, then yeah. I'm not fortunate enough to be able to crank anything loud enough to get that, though.
Yeah. I don't have anything that would, well, because I don't have anything to really do that tone, but I got Lawrence's stuff that could probably dial in a plausible, but I don't have Jerry's hands. And I'll say that flat out, because when I saw last time I was out in California, when JJ was playing with his band, I sat in on rehearsal. And I'm listening to JJ's tone, and I'm like, holy fuck, he sounds like Jerry Cantrell. And he has similar kind of riffs to an Alice in Chains type. Like, there's a bit of Alice in Chains vibe to it. And I was just like, holy fuck. I'm like, as soon as they were done playing, I'm like, give me your I gotta play, because I want to play through, you know, Jerry's tone. Fucking sounded like me. God damn it. Like, it was the kind of there. I was like, oh, I do sound good. But I don't. JJ I don't. The only thing I can think of is he must have a similar attack, you know, to have, because immediately I was just like, geez Louise.
Well, I think one thing, if you watch a lot of really good players, they do what I can't do, or what I'm trying to condition myself to do. You'd be amazed at how light of a touch they have on the, you know, me, I'm just like, you know, Sasquatch.
Yeah, I'm manhandling,
you know, and but you watch somebody like Steve Vai or whatnot, and it's just this light touch that they have.
Oh yeah, like you and I cannot play scallop fretboards.
No. I tried it one time.
You don't need to use the wiggle stick, because you're just doing it with this.
Yeah. No, I tried it one time, and the one word that could not describe it would be intonation. It was just, it was
that's one of the reasons I prefer smaller frets on guitars.
Yeah.
I'm less likely to fret chords out of tune.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I don't mind kind of a medium jumbo, but even a medium jumbo fret, maybe a little larger than what I would prefer, just because I just don't have that light touch. But again,
RJ says light touch equals very low action on the neck. I run pretty low action too, but I just go with super small frets too. So that's why I just move everything down, the strings, the frets, everything.
Ben, about where do you set your action? Where do you like it?
I think it comes in at 3/64 ish.
Oh, no, wait. You're Canadian. Don't give me that crap. Give me millimeters. Come on. Do it in metric. I'm American, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm right at about 1.25 to 1.5 millimeters is where I like mine.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is, because I watch a lot of Dave's World of Fun stuff. He does 64ths, and people ask him why. He's like, because that's what it says on the gauge, and that's the gauge I use. And I use the same, credit card gauge, and that's the way Leo Fender did it. Jam away, brother James. Jam away. Love you too. So, little text in there. Awesome. So,
oh, hey, Terry, thanks again for posting the link. I do appreciate that.
Awesome. Yes. We've had a little turnover in the chat. So if you haven't already, folks, please subscribe to Grumpy Mike Guitar. I'm just going to do a refresh on your page to see what it says.
Yeah,
we're at 776 now. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. What's that? Up 12. All right. Yeah, folks, I'm trying to get to 1,000 so I can give away a guitar.
Yeah,
come on.
If you want a guitar or a chance at a guitar.
And I guarantee you that when I pick the winner, it's going to be picked in a manner that you've never seen before. And I can tell you no human being will be involved in picking the winner, but the one who picks will be a living creature. I'm just saying.
That's not a nice way to refer to me, Mike. Thank you. Hey, Braxel. And he says, time for ribeye. Uh-oh. Quentin James is on his way too then. My knees hurt says I'm at 112 subs. Check out my knees hurt too. Why not? Why don't you? Why don't you? As a Minnesotan would say.
By the way, my knees hurt. I need to check. Am I subbed to you? I think I am, but I might not be.
Am I? I think I am.
Let me find out here. I could have swore that I did.
Maybe a mod can not only post a link in the chat to My Knees Hurts channel, but also send it to me too, so I can confirm that I'm subbed. Because I get a hoot out of My Knees Hurt. He's another lurker, hanger outer in the chatosphere. Chatosphere. I think that's a new word, and we're going to keep it, Grumpy Mike.
I like that.
I'm sick of hearing guitar community. No, chatosphere.
Yeah,
that's the live content.
That's good.
The guitar community, that includes the people that just watch the demos. They're not hanging out here. This is the chatosphere. See ya, unfucking believable. Cheers, buddy. See you tomorrow. I will send you a link a good hour before showtime so you can just pop in if you want. If not, we can just wing it. That's been the channel for 3 years, so I'm fine with that too. He was afraid he would screw things up. I'm like, right? That can't happen. If not, if it's a screw up, then that's just comedy. Let's see. AI Gaming says he's modding his white Les Paul with the kill switch like Buckethead. I think that will be my last mod for a while. You know where you can get a good kill switch to do that? Just saying. Tesi Switch, link down below. Use coupon code Canucks, save 15%. That's right, AI Gaming. 15%. He does ship to Canada, even Scarborough.
My knees hurt. I am now subscribed to you for sure. So
nice. Charles 75N says, love both your channels. That's awesome, dude. I do appreciate that. I've got the Tesi switches in the guitars. I got one in the old. Let's see, we got one in this guitar. The humbucker telly. See, we got the Tesi switch. Oh, no, there we go. Don't hit the beer either. Jeez. And might focus. There it is. Then we got the same kill switch, because not that I got several of the same, but I got several of the same. Because why not? You can relate, right, Mike? Why not?
Oh, yeah. And why not?
So we incorporated, well, this one's in red, though. That's right. Because, Canuckistan and all. So the signature guitar didn't originally come with a kill switch. But then I said to Travis, we got to throw the old Tesi Switch in there. And he goes, why? I said, well, I'm a Tesi Switch artist, apparently. So, and you do the guitar. And like Mike was saying an hour and a half ago, like, if you're going to have a signature guitar, like, it should be the way you fucking play it, not the way that you're building it. So I said, sure. Yeah, or he said, sure, because I already told him, that's the way it goes. And he went, fine. How much are they? I'm like, don't worry. I just send them to you, buddy. I just send them. Don't worry. He goes, well, I can source those. I'm like, no, it has to be.
Yeah, I've never owned a guitar with a kill switch in it. I always just did the old Les Paul, put it in the middle position and turn the bridge pickup all the way up, the neck pickup all the way down, and then just use that toggle switch. That's the only way I've ever done kill switch stuff. But I can see where a kill switch would be a lot of fun, actually. So I might have to do that one of these days. I'm actually considering, just for the hell of it, I've had this concept I've been mulling over in my brain to do a series where I try things I've just never done before, like, learning how to play left-handed. Or playing a what do they call them? Not the extended range guitar. You know the guitars that have like the weird like shaped designed fret. What's that called? Multi something or another. I don't know, but it's more than just a fan fret. You've got frets that look like lightning bolts and whatnot. I don't understand them, but for an idiot like me to try it, it'd make for a good video, I think.
For sure. AI Gaming says Buckethead uses his kill switch sort of like a tremolo effect. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Brad Guitar Miller. Shameless. Where did you get that? Oh, no, see? The chat moves at the last second. There we go. Hang on. There we go. No offense, Robot Master Switch. Kill switch with a wah fuzz. Fun. Yep. Where'd you get that cool teleplate? I got that from you, because I forgot the name of your company that you're putting together, because I haven't got any of the promotional. What I'm saying is I've talked to R&D, but I haven't talked to marketing, Brad. Have marketing get in touch with me. We'll do lunch, martinis, pints even. That's fine. And then, he does the teleplates, and he's got fret rockers, which are awesome. 2 of them, regular and premium. I think he's doing a kind of Gibson Epiphone thing already. He's going in deep. He's like, I'm offering multi-levels of stuff because I can offer multi-levels of stuff. And I went, fill your boots, because that's what we say in Canada. Fill your boots.
That's actually a mod I could probably do on this guitar. It's a modern player telly, and
I had one of those for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's got the little toggle switch here for the coil split, but
which you could easily switch into a push pull or a push on the tone.
Exactly, I could do that mod pretty easily. So,
or what I would do, because I was already thinking this, how can I incorporate more into my plate? And I was thinking, I would do both, a mini toggle and the kill switch, because why not?
Yeah.
Because if you have one little noodly bit there that makes guitar nerds like us go, well, what do you got going on there, Mike? What's the extra little something for? And you're like, well, that's that. And they're like, well, what's the other thing for? Well, that does this. Oh, well, that's pretty nifty. You could have had that in the pots. They're like, yeah, but I don't want to, because I'm cool that way. It's the 80s again, and I like to show off my modifications.
Right. And they're like, why did you do that? And you say, well, because I could.
Exactly. It's like you can hide a B bender all expensive by having it in the old strap button, or you can go for a fraction of the cost and not completely gut out a Telecaster body. Is get the Duesenberg. They got the little G and B benders, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been looking at that little operation for a while now.
Me too. That's something that's on my list, is a guitar with a B bender. Right? I want to. that'd be a lot of fun.
Because I kept saying, like I've been shooting, as you've seen, I've been shooting a lot of pedal demos lately. And on something that's lower gain, where I'd like to play something kind of country, but not country, that kind of folky, what do they call it, Americana now, or so, I don't know what they call it, but because it's everywhere. But that, like Rhett Shulley type stuff, but you do a kind of a pedal steel type thing, just as a little intro into the demo for the pedal. I'm like, God, that's what I want for, because I can hear a little thing,
Yeah, and again, another channel that I love, Rhett Shull's channel. Yeah, I really like what he does. And what's really cool is he's in my old hometown in Atlanta, and he did a few months ago. I guess it's been more than a few months, but he did a video where he went into Atlanta Discount Music. I used to be able to walk to Atlanta Discount Music. Wow. That was I used to shop there. If anybody knows the name Derek St. Holmes, he was Ted Nugent's rhythm player back in the Cat Scratch Fever days. He was working at Atlanta Discount Music at some point, I guess in the 90s, early 90s. And so it was always cool to go up there. You talk to Derek St. Holmes and try out a bunch of cool guitars and stuff, and sit there and listen to him play them. And then you go, why doesn't it sound like that when I play it?
Jamal says, somebody here convinced me why I need a Telecaster in my collection. Well, other than, we'll just immediately first put aside if you don't, you're going to be ridiculed, mocked, ostracized, never outright banned, because we want you to stay so we can continue to mock, ridicule, ostracize, just look down upon. And also on the pros of a Telecaster is they always cut through the mix. Mm-hmm. They're a great recording. Every recording studio has a Telecaster. Yeah. Because you'd be like, okay, you're the band loading into the recording studio, and this is our gear, eh? And you got skinny jeans, leather jackets, hair kind of greasy, bringing in your gear, and they see the Marshalls and the Lester Pulfuses and the Stratocasters, and they're like, "You got any tellies?" They're like, "No, we're a rock band." The engineer and or producer immediately sends out for a fucking telly to be nearby.
What's the guy's name? The guy from Anderton's,
James Pete?
No, is it Chris? But anyway, he put out just in the last day or so, he put out a video, does a can a Telecaster gent. Right. Anyway, and I'm telling you, a Telecaster can play any genre.
And we're not talking, you put humbuckers in it, blah, blah, blah. No, we're talking a standard
Telecaster. You can do anything and make it sound really, really good with a Telecaster. Plain and simple, no ifs, ands, or buts.
I want to thank Tito. He says, for the fun hang with Ben and Grumpy Mike, and in honor of George Harrison's birthday, and why not, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, George. My earliest memories are of listening. I have two older brothers. They're twins. They're like 6 years older than me. And they are both, to this day, they're Beatles. Just, to call them fanatics is an understatement. They're Beatles everything. As a matter of fact, my brother Kelly, the one that made the acoustic guitar that he gave me, if you want to go back and look at that video, my brother Kelly, he learned how to make, he learned the craft from none other than Wayne Henderson. If you don't know the name, just look for the book, Eric Clapton's Guitar, or Clapton's Guitar. That's Wayne Henderson. Anyway, but my brother Kelly for a long time had a band called the Beatles. And of course, and I mean, they were a true to form Beatles tribute band, right down to playing the exact, well, not the exact, but the same model instruments, everything as precise, note by note. Yeah. So
we get a few comments coming in here because Led Zeppelin one was recorded with a Tele, including all the way up to through the solo on Stairway is a Tele.
Who was it?
Rady Crooks, he just says you need a Tele because you don't have one. That's the most logical answer right there. You need a Tele because you don't have one. Let's see here. AI Gaming says there's a reason most guitar gods have a Tele in their arsenal. Listen to Prince's guitar tone on How My Guitar Gently Weeps. If that doesn't convince you, nothing will. Fair enough. Ben Coombs says it's the Telecaster is the ride or died woman of the guitar world. Sure. Robot Master Switch. Teles are comfortable. They're simple. They're stable for tuning. Easy to work on. Parts everywhere. Unique tone. Can pretty much play pretty much everything. Cuts through the mix. There we go. And then we'll wrap it up with Vince. RJ says, I only have Les Pauls.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. Nothing wrong with that either.
At all with that. But what I saw a quote just not too long ago, something about the Telecaster takes credit for selling more Les Paul because of Jimmy Page. The Telecaster has sold more Les Pauls than.
True. You need both.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually, I was listening to an interview with Joe Walsh recently, and he was talking about when he was what were they? They were opening for Led Zeppelin. It was Zeppelin's first tour, like it was James Gang opening for Zeppelin during the Zeppelin 1 tour of America. Some portion of it, right? So they're out there on a leg, and Joe and Jimmy are talking, tone. And Page is just like, I don't get it. He's like, what? He's like, well, in the Yardbirds, the Tele work fine. Yeah, and Joe's like, yeah, but you can't use a Tele with Led Zeppelin. You like in a one guitar band, use a Les Paul. Like in a power trio or like that humbucker, it's fuller, blah, blah, blah. But in any kind of an ensemble, yes, the single coil, because it cuts through the mix no matter what, you're going to be heard. And that's what, and then shortly after that's when Joe gave Jimmy the Les Paul because Joe had two bursts. So he kept the one he liked more and gave Jimmy the other one.
Well, realistically, the Tele was great in the studio, but live probably didn't do it for the live. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But I remember, again, way back when I still had my band, if we were recording something, I liked playing my Strat. But live, I just having the humbucker there.
Yeah. It's and true. I was just thinking too, and around that time too, everybody was switching to Marshall Stacks Plexis, and Plexi is an unforgiving amp, and you have to have some balls to play a Telecaster through a Marshall Stack. It's bright.
Yeah. And I talked about the old Tele that my stepfather had. What I used to be able to play that through. We had the blackface Princeton, but my brothers also bought a Fender Bassman 100 head with the 810 cab. And let me tell you something. That you plug into that thing, turn it up. Right. And the whole freaking neighborhood knows.
No doubt.
I remember my mom coming home from work one day. I could hear you at the top of the street.
You're reminding me. I remember because before I started playing guitar, I had briefly played bass. So I got an old bass rig. So of course, I said to Dad, I want to play bass. Okay, so he finds a bass from one guy that he knows. He used to be in the band for, I think, one of Dad's bands for a while. Get a bass amp, which of course it's nothing but stage quality gear type thing, whatever. So I get this big solid state bass rig, and I get home early one day from high school, plug in, start rocking out on bass. My sister gets home about 15 minutes after me. However, she got off the school bus, which is at the end of our road. So we're talking, eighth of a mile. She's like, I could hear you as soon as the school bus doors opened. And it was like, and it's like, 5-minute walk. Dum, dum, dum. Play along with some AC/DC. So it's just open.
By the way, I didn't see her in the chat, but say hello to Amanda for me.
Will do.
She's another one who from the very beginning was very kind to me in the chats and
yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes, she's probably busy on mom duty tonight, is my guess. And I'm not saying, a certain 6-year-old really thinks they know everything the last couple of weeks, but a certain 6-year-old really thinks they know everything the last couple of weeks. It's been a bit of a kick, I've noticed. And I'm just, Yep.
Yeah, I found that out back towards the beginning of the terribleness of last year, which we won't talk about. But when my stepson and his family decided to get the hell out of New York and come down here and stay with their 6-year-old and their 4-year-old. And I know what that's like.
Yep. Fortunately, I love them all, and it's only 1 or 2 days a week, the part-time dad thing for a few hours, type thing, the parent of the day. I'm just like, yep, all right, let's go, and then it's just, hey, Sandra, good to see you. So it was like I said, Friday. We had some dinner, and that was fine. Then I got a picture made for me, which was quite nice. So I got a new picture to put up in the workshop.
Yeah, well,
says, I haven't bought a new amp because I wanted 2 notes. I haven't bought a 2 notes because I want a new amp or something like that. Yeah. And she says 6-year-olds do know everything. Yep.
Well, I often wish I was still young again when I knew everything. Because now I'm old and I don't know shit.
Ain't that the truth?
I didn't see.
Wow, we've already burned well over 2 hours. How the hell did that happen?
I have no idea. It doesn't seem like that, but I didn't notice, and I apologize for missing both Sandra and Zach in the chat.
Oh, Zach's in here.
Both of you.
Dang,
yes.
I met
Hey,
Zach too. Hey, Zach. Yeah. Good to see you, man. I want to shout out, I saw Michael B dip in earlier too. Longtime pal of you in YouTube, Michael B. Oh, excuse me. Well, we might as well just take her to the bottom of the hour. I'm just saying.
Yeah, another 15 minutes can't hurt.
Everyone seems to still be alive in the chat. We got 52 people watching, an unknown number of thumbs ups. And
there's still a little bit left.
There's a little something. Yeah, I got a dribble left here. And after that last bowl, I'm just... There's Michael B. Hey, John. John Landino. There's a name. Welcome. Hello.
Hi, John.
Hey, Mikey, you said you're old. You don't look that old to me. How old are you? You never ask a guitar player his age.
I am old enough to know better.
But not old enough to actually do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel older than I am, but that's just because.
Yeah,
well,
I felt that way for years. AI Gaming says, I don't gig anymore like most people these days. Like, yeah, exactly. I'm big on virtual amps, Guitar Rig 6, etc. Through studio monitors, I sold all my amps. Just one small boutique amp from 1963 from Kitchener. Nice. Doug's ears just perk up. Kitchener. That's next to me.
Oh, and by the way, seeing Sandra and Janice in the chat, it reminds me of something. When I look at the analytics on my channel, I know for a fact that I have maybe not a lot, but I have more than just a few female subscribers. But my analytics from day one, 100% male. It says 100% male. And I go through and I'm looking at the list. I'm going, but there's a female and there's one, and but it says 100% male. So I don't know. I guess what I'm getting at is I need more of the ladies subscribing to my channel. So I realize
what he's saying is YouTube thinks it's a sausage fest, and it's not. He knows.
No, it's not.
So
it's
what I'll say is,
not.
any females definitely subscribe to both of our channels and leave a comment in the comments area, on his channel and say, "Hi, I'm here. I'm watching. How you doing?"
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jess, like that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it because I know you're there, but the
analytics tractors, sure. Okay.
Basically, the folks at YouTube are just liars. I just think they're a bunch of liars.
No, they're fine. They're fine. They're good people. They're good. They're right. Yeah.
The algorithm.
They do take the 30+% off the top. Just saying.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. I'm desperately trying to make my channel successful, but it's not even about monetizing it or even making money off of it. It's just because I just want.
Here's a question for you. I like to pose because I kind of think it's similar in some ways. Is you growing a channel? It's kind of like being in a band.
Oh yeah,
your local band, except it's original content. So it's you're an original band, and it doesn't matter where you're from because there's an unlimited amount of bars to play in. But it's like the typical bar gig these days. The bar owner's like, "Yeah, come on in. I ain't paying you, and you got to promote the fuck out of it all yourself." And so if you have the mentality of playing in a band and know what it takes to self-promote and help, and not be a dick about doing it. You don't just plaster your band's name everywhere over everyone's windshields and crap like that. But
we did back in the day. We did.
That's different. We were allowed back then. Now they see it as a little pushy,
Yeah, back in the day, I swear, when we had the band going, I was working a full-time job, and then there was the band. I would usually sleep about 2 hours a night. We would literally spend entire nights at Kinko's, just printing up flyers and then going out and hitting all the different clubs and hitting every car, putting a flyer underneath everybody's. That's what life was like back in the day. We didn't have the internet back then.
Exactly. Joe Flink, hello, welcome. He says, "Let's be honest, it's not a sausage fest." Means it's only 90% sausage and not 100%. Pretty much, my goal is 88%.
Well,
88% sausage free.
I'm personally. I'm hoping that, we've all seen the stats that, during 2020 and the things that happened, that a bunch of new people are buying guitars and learning to play. I'm hoping that there's a lot more of the ladies that are doing it, because just coming up here, I'm hoping I get to go. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to make it, but Samantha Fish is going to be playing nice. Just north of here. I really want to go see her. She's amazing and easy to look at too. So that's another thing. But
hey, I feel festive about sausage. And Janice wins the chat tonight, folks. On that comment right there.
Yeah.
You win the chat, Janice.
You win. Yeah. You win. You get a prize.
Damn. So yeah, let's see. I'm just gonna circle back. I want to check as we're approaching the. Anything else? Holy crap! You're at 781.
Am I really? I haven't looked.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. I'm saying, but I'm not saying. So there we are. What else? So yeah, if you haven't already, sub to Grumpy Mike, please. And lots of names coming in the chat. It's been awesome. Love it. Variety tonight. That's great. Hello, welcome all. We're wrapping up in about 10 minutes. What do you want to cover, Mike? Let's just go. You can start picking my brain. Unless somebody in the chat here is with a question, you got. What do you want to know? What do you want to do? I can't give out phone numbers and email addresses. Not here.
Well, you have my email address, so you can.
I have it. Yeah.
Well, I as far as questions,
I saw somebody mention you should do some live streaming. That was again an hour ago. It was an hour ago.
That goes to what I was going to say. At some point, I might want to pick your brain about learning, StreamYard or OBS or, what the pitfalls of either, because right now I have a feeling if I tried to do a live stream, it would be a complete train wreck. So,
well, fortunately, I keep that bar nice and low. For at least you have a decent internet connection. That's a plus. Believe me.
At times, it doesn't stay that way all the time, but yeah, at times.
I would say, if you're going to do live streams, and this goes for anybody out there, find a time. If you're a fan of all these channels, find a time because everybody, if you can do it, and that's the other thing. If you can do, let's say, a daytime show, you're going to do 3 to 3:30 in the afternoon, local time. Okay, that's fine, because a lot of people listen in from work, use it as a podcast. This, be consistent with day of the week, time, length.
That's my biggest problem because
punctuality.
There's nothing consistent about my schedule ever. So you
do the consistently inconsistent live stream. There you go. It's yours. You can have it. That's your name, the consistently with Grumpy Mike.
And the other issue is there are so many people that do live shows that they've got their time.
Right.
And I'm not going to go in and step on anybody and because nobody would watch my live stream because, hey, Pete Thorne is on. So, there's that. But I haven't ruled it out. I would probably at some point start doing, hey, just being able to make this setup. Because honestly, folks, I've never Zoomed. I've never done. I've never done that. It's not. I had to the other week or whenever it was. I was going to be on China Mike's show,
right?
And he hadn't figured some things out, but the whole time I'm sitting there going, okay, I did something wrong. This is not working. This is my fault because I don't know what I'm doing.
I think China Mike needs to just stick with StreamYard. Just saying. It's nice. It's easy. See, I have guests. We talk.
I think he's got it pretty much figured out. But and I think I'm going to be on his show again soon.
And just to say, wrap out, Scott Brockway says, Quentin streams during Pete Thorne.
Well, that's Quentin. I mean,
yeah, but he's Quentin fucking James.
Yeah, I mean,
there is only one.
Who the hell am I? I mean, I'm not Quentin James. I mean, come on.
None of us are. Brad says, you don't know till you jump in. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Gaming says, I got a small trainer amp indirectly from Zach Wild. In 1993, I rented a rehearsal space at the Rehearsal Factory in Toronto. Yeah, I know it. Zach left it there, probably was loaned to him. Oh, I guarantee you it was loaned to him.
Yeah, and Bent Tom says I know more about Poon than Zoom. And yeah, you know, Tom, I used to be there too. But you know.
I used to could.
Oh.
So here we are. Let's see. Come on, folks. Any last things here? Come on, listen to me. Come on, folks. Come on. Any last things there? Let's see. I'm just looking at the time. Let's check out the sub count. 781. Are we still at 781, folks? Yeah, we are. Fine. Fine. You know, it was 765, and now it's not.
And now it's not. Yeah.
That's nice. The couple dozen of you.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get to 785 before the
It
end
would,
of this,
just for
but,
our
you know, just
own
because
OCDs,
I'm
folks.
never satisfied, you know.
Yeah, they see Terry just put the link in the chat there, folks. And
Hey, thank you, Terry. You are the man.
you know, and we're okay if you need to click. If you're on the phone, the mobile device, and you got to leave here to go sub to him, and then come right back. As long as you said, you know, you'll come back. We'll wait.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
okay
you know,
with that.
you can open multiple tabs. It's fine.
Well, there we are. There we are. Yeah, exactly. And if you're on like me on laptop, yeah, there's tabs and features and such, and it works. And then, yeah.
And like I said, I'm desperate. I want to give one of these guitars away, man. Come on,
I get it.
I want to do it. And by the way, I mean that. I'm one of those sick individuals who just get so much joy out of giving something,
paying
to
it forward.
Somebody. Just
I get it, dude.
Yeah, paying it forward. I love that. And
I do what I can.
I kind of promised Miss Grumpy I would not give anything else away until I reached that 1,000 subscriber mark. But after that, there's no restriction. Katie, bar the door. I'm gonna start giving some stuff away. I got pedals over here I can give away.
Pedals, he says, folks.
Yeah, you know, stupid things that I bought just to show on the channel. I'll give them away. You know, come on. So, yeah.
As Stuart says, a stream with 1,500 people may as well be a video. You can't chat. It depends. I've been in chats that have been that big and larger where the chat is just crawling like any other chat. If the content is good, you have a large up, because the chat really starts flying when you get a bunch of people just talking to each other rather than interacting with the channel host and or guest, I think.
Well, I mean, like with Philip McKnight's Friday show, you know, he'll get upwards around 1,600, 1,700, 1,800 people in the chat, but you can still, you know, it's not too out of control. I mean, I remember when it didn't get nearly that many, but even now though, it's not too bad. I kind of feel bad for Philip because you know, he's trying to follow all this. I can see how it can get a little, you know, from his point of view. But as far as somebody who's just typing in and commenting, you know, if he sees it and comments and answers either the question or whatever stupid remark I made, you know, that's cool. That's fine. Charles
75N says, for anyone on the fence, Griping Mike has a great channel. And Ben Tom, CGS voice, Grumpy Mike.
Well, is China Mike in here?
No,
wait.
Tom is impersonating him.
I see.
Mike, he could be lurking if he had to get up to use the room during the night. He has been known to do that. If he wakes up during the night, you'll be like, oh, they're live. But he's probably watching on the replay while he's, you know, carrying on with his Monday.
I can tell you this: the people whose channel that, you know, my top channels, the people that I gravitated to from the very beginning, all have one thing in common, and that's they exude niceness. You know, they have you can just tell they're a nice person. They have a good soul, you know, and that's with you, China Mike, Philip McKnight, Tone King. I love Tone King's channel. You know, people like that. It comes down to something I hear over and over again in podcasts and whatnot. You know, how to be successful as a musician, and the number one rule is don't be an asshole.
Exactly.
Right. You know, don't be an
well,
asshole.
It's like the name of tonight's show, you know, the hang. It's because it's all about the hang. Oh, somebody's up to 784. 784.
One more. Come on, one more. 785. Let's
Steve from Boston is the king. I will agree. Steve from Boston is the king.
Another super nice guy.
Yep.
Yeah, there you
go. And I also want to say RJ Ronquillo.
Yeah.
One of the nicest guys you will ever meet.
Yeah. Robert Baker.
Oh,
Love Robert Baker's channel.
Super nice. And having hung out with basically all those guys, you know, no cameras, nothing, you know, like just hanging with them at the NAMM shows and stuff. What you see is what you get. Pete Thorne, definitely.
Okay, you just brought up something, and I'm just going to go ahead and apologize to everybody right now, because I'm going to go ahead and accept responsibility. We all know what happened about right around this time last year, and we've been suffering through it the whole time, and I know exactly why it happened, because I had made plans to go to Summer NAMM last year. I made my plans. I had made reservations, everything, and then we know what happened. And I know why. It all happened just because I wanted to go to Summer NAMM.
Nice. Deja Voodoo. I am happy anytime I can catch a guitar community live stream down under. Lunch break viewing time slot about to end right now. Back to work then. Cheers. Cheers, my friend. Thanks for that. That's awesome.
Well, wait, Deja Voodoo, where you lunch break? Where are you?
So Australia?
Oh, in Australia. Oh, okay. Well, another great, fantastic channel in the blues. Shane and the blues,
Shane.
another super nice guy.
Oh yeah, hell, Shane was the first quote unquote legit YouTuber I'll say I ever really had on the channel. Like I don't know, I might have had 100 subscribers, Mike.
Yeah.
And I reached out to him, like, hey, you want to come on for a hang? And he's like, sure. I'm like, really? Really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. He's somebody I'd kind of like to reach out to maybe try to do some
very professional
with. Somebody I would love to. In fact, he's the cameras that I use. I use the Lumix G85 cameras. The reason I use those cameras is because he recommended them.
Yep.
You know. So
Ben Tom says, did you see on RJ's Saturday stream when Ariel Posen said he wants to play like RJ someday? I was like, damn. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
RJ, he gets some interesting people in his chats.
He's so good.
Yeah. But and it's interesting too. It's like, I'd be curious, like, who tunes into Pete Thorne live? Because a lot of, you know, guys say they watch it. Like, how many are watching live, but they're not going to say anything in chat? You know, like
that's me. When I watch Pete Thorne, I don't think I've ever commented in the chat on one of Pete Thorne's
or I'm thinking you or like, because like, yeah, I average, I don't know, 600 to 800 watching, but like I'm thinking like the Richard Fortis's, the Peter Framptons, the, you know, like the fellow gear nerds that are, you know, because they all watch his videos, a lot of famous people, you know, how many actually watch him live, I wonder. But they're not going to say anything in the chat because all of a sudden the chat would be like, "Fuck off! This isn't Jerry Cantrell." You're like, "No, it is." You know.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Oh, and one other channel I want to mention. Probably, if I could be any player in the world, if I could just swap play, Tim Pierce. Tim Pierce. Oh my God, Tim Pierce. Probably my. And what's funny about that is I started watching him on YouTube, and I didn't make the connection at first. And then at some point, I realized one of my favorite bands from the 90s that I got real into and always wondered whatever happened to them was Toy Matinee. And it's like, oh, Tim Pierce was the guitar player in Toy Matinee. No wonder. Right? Oh, that guy is so good. Just so good.
See you, Christian. See you, Vins. Thanks for
coming
in.
And I love watching Tim's videos because when he plays, you can just see the joy in his eyes. It's just the joy of playing exudes out of his face. It's amazing to watch. I just love that guy.
Let's see here. Ben Tom says RJ was that scary good 20 years ago. I was going to say RJ's my guy because for what I like to play, and RJ's a damn chameleon. He can play it all, as well. And RJ's just, I don't know. When I grow up, I want to be RJ Ronquillo.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I kind of wish he still lived in South Florida so I could maybe do something. He had to move, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've gone past 2.5 hours at this point, so I will say, any parting words, my friend?
Not really. Just hopefully within the next week I'll have another video out. So please, by all means, look for that and watch it. And until then, I've got a whole bunch of videos that could use some views. So go back and look at the catalog. And again, some people say I talk too much, but just in my own defense, because I don't do live shows, one of the things I decided very early on was, people have to get to know who I am. They've got to get to know my personality. So that's what's behind a lot of the chattiness. And I'm just trying to give you and I think in my more recent videos, I've actually gotten better at editing. So that's probably a little less of that, but it wasn't not designed to be that way. I'm talking just because I want you to get an idea of who I am, where I'm coming from. So, but yeah, go back and look. I think just about any of the videos you'll see some, where I'm learning, learning how to make the camera focus, learning how to get. Oh, and that was you asked if I had questions before. Sure. One of the things I've had the biggest trouble with is learning how to mix audio for YouTube. And it's like I mix it and it sounds fantastic. And then I upload the video and whatever YouTube does to it. Okay, it didn't sound like that when I mixed it. Any advice?
I shoot videos on my phone. So, when you're getting into what do you use for audio interface? My phone. Yeah, like I do connect. I use a shotgun mic connected into the phone, but I just mic the room when I shoot my demos.
Oh, really?
Like sitting right on top of the. That's why you can hear it. You can hear the guitar acoustically in some of the newer videos, which I keep goosing the amp up louder, so I keep forgetting. I'm like, no, it's got to be louder. I got to go to like loud so you don't hear it acoustically as much. But yeah, I just shoot. And everything's edited on my phone, from that transferred over to the old laptop here, and then throw it up into the Google.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm recording my audio onto Studio One, and then I'm adding the audio to the video.
Well, see, you're already ahead of me.
Yeah. See, I've got just like right now. Let me see. There's a
He's
mic
got
right there.
Structure, and that's the thing. He's got cameras. He's got microphones. Yeah, you're already ahead of me. So I shoot with my phone and a small little mic until I can do better. Right.
Yeah, I just not
See you,
to
Jeff
give
K.
not to give anything away, but you know, to haphazardly start my little channel, I've probably spent just on camera gear and stuff, probably $6 or $7 grand. You can't tell it. I mean, you can't tell it, but I actually
don't know.
did.
I've probably got. Well, oh no, that's right, because we got the new computer here. So we add her all up. We're upwards of 1,500 Canadian. That's the entire operation. Well, yeah, that's including the lights, I think. Yeah.
Well, some of my lights are homemade. I've got a
Maybe
light up
$2
there.
grand at this point. Nah, can't be $2 grand.
What's providing the light on this background is actually a 14-inch cake pan that I took an LED strip, like a 16-foot LED strip, and taped around the edges of the pan, and you know that's the
redneck engineering that makes YouTube.
Actually, you know, I'm not a redneck, by the way. It's 2021. I'm an Appalachian American.
Appalachian American. This is true. James, see ya. So we will. I'll be live again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Co-host Bent Tom, possible also guest. Unfucking believable. That's right. Possibly an unboxing. Depends on the mail. It could snow and we don't get mail. But in theory, according to Canada Post, I got a package on the way. So hopefully we'll have an unboxing. Canucks with Guitars. Everyone's sub to me and Mike, please. And as always, hold those doors open. Let that guy head you in traffic. God damn, my throat's going. See, that's what when we do the long shows, because you have the extra good time. Sure. Doug's wife's real, Karma. We know that. Be good to each other. And yeah, have a great night. Oh, there's more comments. All right. Yeah, great show. Thanks. Everybody, cheers, rock on. What am I looking for? That's right, the outro. Teeing it up. See,
before we go,
you wouldn't even know I'm doing it.
Yeah, let me say it.
Sure.
Be good. Let's all just be good.